Myth or fact? Do multivitamins replace a healthy diet? Walk into any supermarket, pharmacy, or health store today, and you'll be met with a dazzling wall of bottles. Brightly colored labels scream promises of better health, stronger immunity, more energy, sharper focus, glowing skin, and longer life. These bottles are filled with multivitamins, tiny capsules or tablets that pack together dozens of essential nutrients. They're marketed as convenient insurance policies for your health, a one-stop solution to cover all the nutritional bases you might be missing. The message is seductive. Take this pill, and you don't have to worry so much about what you eat. For people juggling busy schedules, picky eaters, or anyone who feels their diet might not always be perfect, this promise feels like a lifeline. But here's the question we need to ask. Do multivitamins really replace a healthy diet? Or is this another myth that's been blown out of proportion by clever marketing? To answer that, we have to look back at where multivitamins even came from. The idea of putting vitamins into a pill is surprisingly modern. Vitamins themselves were only discovered in the early 20th century. Before that, people knew that certain foods prevented diseases, like how citrus fruits prevented scurvy among sailors, but they didn't know why. When scientists isolated and named vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin A, and the B complex, it felt like unlocking the secret codes of life itself. Deficiency diseases such as rickets, pellagra, and beriberi could suddenly be explained by the absence of these tiny compounds. If lack of vitamins caused disease, then giving vitamins should prevent or cure them. It was a revolutionary idea. By the mid-1900s, pharmaceutical companies figured out how to combine multiple vitamins into a single pill, and the modern multivitamin was born. From the beginning, these pills were marketed not just as supplements, but as replacements. Advertisements suggested that you could pop a pill and not worry about whether you ate enough fruits, vegetables, or whole grains. They positioned multivitamins as shortcuts to health, a way to bypass the hard work of building a balanced diet. And people embraced them. By the late 20th century, multivitamin use had exploded across the United States, Europe, and much of the world. Today, billions of dollars are spent annually on these products. Surveys show that more than 1/3 of adults in America take a daily multivitamin. Globally, the market continues to grow, fueled by the promise of convenience. But here's where the myth begins to crack. Nutrition isn't just about vitamins and minerals in isolation. It's about the way whole foods deliver them, in combination with fiber, phytonutrients, healthy fats, and proteins, all interacting in complex ways we don't fully understand. A carrot isn't just a delivery system for vitamin A. It's also full of carotenoids, antioxidants, and fibers that work together in ways no pill can replicate. An orange isn't just a source of vitamin C. It contains flavonoids, natural sugars, and fiber that change how the body processes that vitamin. When you eat whole foods, you get nutrients in their natural context, supported by compounds that enhance their absorption and effectiveness. A pill with isolated vitamins simply can't reproduce that synergy. Take, for example, vitamin E. Early research suggested it was a powerful antioxidant that could protect against heart disease. People began taking high-dose vitamin E supplements, believing they were protecting their hearts. But later studies showed that vitamin E in isolation didn't provide the same benefits as vitamin E from food sources like nuts, seeds, and leafy greens. In some cases, high-dose supplements even increased risks. Why? Because in foods, vitamin E works alongside other compounds, and those interactions matter. The same story repeats with beta-carotene, vitamin A, and many other nutrients. The pill version doesn't behave the same way as the food version. This brings us back to the core myth. Can multivitamins replace a healthy diet? The answer is no. At best, multivitamins can fill small gaps. If you're slightly low on a nutrient, a supplement might help bring you up to normal. But they don't provide the thousands of phytonutrients, fibers, and healthy fats that whole foods deliver. They don't train your body to process real food. they don't give you the same sense of satiety or the same impact on blood sugar, cholesterol, and gut health. A multivitamin is like patching a hole in a wall with tape instead of rebuilding the wall properly. It might cover the gap for a while, but it doesn't give the structure the same strength. And here's another layer. Absorption. Just because you swallow a pill doesn't mean your body fully uses everything inside it. Some vitamins are water-soluble, like vitamin C and the B vitamins, meaning the body takes what it needs and flushes out the rest through urine. That's why people sometimes joke about having expensive pee after taking multivitamins. Fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K require dietary fat for proper absorption. If you take them without food, your body might not absorb them effectively. Meanwhile, nutrients in food are packaged with the very compounds that aid their absorption. Nature has already done the work of creating bioavailable combinations. Pills don't always match that sophistication. There's also the issue of dosage. With food, it's hard to overdose on vitamins because they're spread out naturally and balanced with other nutrients. With supplements, it's easier to take too much. For example, too much vitamin A can cause liver damage. Excess iron can be toxic. High doses of certain vitamins can interfere with medications. The assumption that more is better can actually backfire. Yet despite these limitations, the myth of replacement persists. Why? Because it's incredibly appealing. In our fast-paced world, cooking balanced meals every day feels like a challenge. People look for shortcuts, and the supplement industry knows this. Marketing campaigns frame multivitamins as solutions for modern life. Too busy to cook? Take a pill. Don't like vegetables? Take a pill. Worried about aging? Take a pill. It's a billion-dollar business built on the promise of convenience and peace of mind. And to be fair, for some people, those with restrictive diets, medical conditions, or specific deficiencies, multivitamins can be helpful. But they are supplements, not replacements. Imagine someone who eats fast food every day but takes a multivitamin. Will that pill undo the damage caused by excessive saturated fat, salt, and sugar? Of course not. The body doesn't work that way. The pill might provide some vitamins, but it won't repair the metabolic stress, the lack of fiber, or the imbalance in nutrients. Compare that with someone who eats a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. That person may not need a multivitamin at all, because their food already provides what they need. And if they do take one, it's just a small backup, not a substitute. Another point to consider is that nutrition science is still evolving. We're discovering new compounds in foods all the time. Polyphenols, flavonoids, gut microbiome interactions. These are things we didn't fully appreciate decades ago. No pill on the market can capture the full spectrum of what whole foods provide. If we've learned anything from history, it's that isolating one nutrient and expecting it to perform miracles rarely works. The magic is in the complexity of real food. In Part 1, we uncovered the history of multivitamins, how they were marketed as replacements for food, and why that idea is flawed. We looked at the limits of pills compared to real food, the problem of absorption, and the dangers of over-reliance. But the story doesn't stop there. To truly understand why the myth of replacement persists and what role multivitamins actually play, we need to dive deeper into the science, psychology, and business of supplementation. Let's start with the science. Multivitamins typically contain a standard mix of essential nutrients: vitamins A, C, D, E, K, the B-complex vitamins, and minerals like iron, zinc, calcium, and magnesium. On paper, this looks like a comprehensive safety net. But here's the catch. The forms and amounts of these nutrients vary widely. For example, vitamin D in food is absorbed differently than synthetic vitamin D in supplements. Calcium in dairy products is often more bioavailable than calcium carbonate in a pill. Iron from plant foods behaves differently than iron from meat or supplements. And some forms of B vitamins in pills require conversion by the body into active forms before they can be used. For people with genetic variations or health issues that block these conversions, supplements may not work as intended. Research into multivitamins has also produced mixed results. Large studies like the Physicians' Health Study and the Women's Health Initiative found that daily multivitamins didn't significantly reduce the risk of heart disease, cancer, or early death in the general population. Other studies showed modest benefits for specific groups, such as reducing the risk of cataracts or slowing cognitive decline in older adults. But the overall picture is clear. For most healthy people, multivitamins are not miracle pills. They can help with small deficiencies, but don't replace the benefits of a balanced diet. This is where the placebo effect comes into play. When people take a daily pill, they often feel healthier simply because they believe they're doing something good for themselves. This psychological boost can lead to positive behaviors, like paying more attention to health overall. In some cases, the placebo effect itself produces measurable improvements. But it's important to remember that the pill isn't doing the heavy lifting. The belief and the behaviors it inspires are. The myth of replacement also survives because of human habit. People like routines, and swallowing a pill every morning feels easier than cooking balanced meals. It becomes part of the daily ritual, like brushing teeth or making coffee. This habit reinforces the idea that the pill is enough, even when the rest of the diet is poor. It creates a false sense of security that allows people to neglect fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, believing the pill has them covered. And then there's the economics. The supplement industry is massive, worth over $150 billion globally. Companies have every incentive to promote the idea that their products are essential. Advertising often blurs the line between supplement and substitute. Phrases like nutritional insurance, all-in-one health, or your daily dose of wellness make it sound as if a multivitamin can stand in for food. In reality, these are carefully crafted marketing messages designed to sell peace of mind. When you buy a multivitamin, you're often buying reassurance, not replacement. To be fair, there are situations where multivitamins make real sense. Pregnant women, for instance, are often advised to take prenatal vitamins with folic acid and iron to support healthy development. Older adults may benefit from vitamin D and B12, which are harder to absorb from food with age. People with dietary restrictions, vegans, vegetarians, or those with allergies, may need supplementation to fill specific gaps, like vitamin B12, calcium, or iodine. In these cases, multivitamins act as safety nets, preventing deficiencies that could cause serious problems. But even then, they work best when paired with a nutrient-rich diet, not as a substitute for one. Let's use an analogy. Imagine your body as a house. Food is the bricks, wood, and foundation that build it strong. Multivitamins are like nails, screws, and small tools that hold things together. You can't build a house out of nails alone. They're useful, sometimes necessary, but only in the context of a solid structure. Without the raw materials of whole foods, proteins, fibers, healthy fats, and the thousands of natural compounds they contain, the house can't stand. Supplements can't create what isn't there, they can only support. Another angle worth exploring is the role of the gut microbiome. In recent years, scientists have discovered that the trillions of bacteria in our intestines play a major role in how we absorb nutrients, regulate immunity, and maintain overall health. These microbes thrive on fibers and plant compounds found in whole foods. A multivitamin doesn't feed your microbiome. In fact, without real food, your gut bacteria starve and your health suffers, even if you're technically getting your vitamins. This shows again that nutrition is about much more than just isolated nutrients. It's about the whole ecosystem inside you. So why do people still cling to the idea of replacement? Because it's comforting. It's far easier to swallow a pill than to change lifelong eating habits. Supplements offer control in a world where health feels uncertain. And in some cases, people truly believe they don't have time, money, or ability to eat well. The pill becomes a crutch. But relying on that crutch can prevent people from making the deeper changes that really matter. The truth is that no pill can replicate the complexity of a balanced diet. Whole foods provide vitamins and minerals in the right ratios, combined with antioxidants, phytonutrients, and fibers that work together in harmony. They train your metabolism, fuel your microbiome, and protect against chronic disease in ways we're only beginning to understand. Multivitamins can't replace that. They were never meant to. They are supplements, additions, backups. At best, they're helpful assistants. At worst, they're distractions that lull people into complacency. So, myth or fact, do multivitamins replace a healthy diet? The verdict is clear. It's a myth. They can complement your diet, help in specific circumstances, and act as safety nets. But they cannot and should not stand in for real food. Health is built on fresh fruits, colorful vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, not on pills. If you truly want to protect your health, multivitamins may have a role, but the foundation must always be food. And that's the truth. Busted, not trusted.